Welcome to the 2016 OCFOA Plays of the Week. I'm your host, Mark Andrews, and the plays this week are compliments of Steve Coover, the San Diego Instructional Chairman and CIF Rules Interpreter. All rules and interpretations expressed in this video have been approved by the OCFOA Instructional Chairman, Chad Wilson. Today's video will focus on crew responsibilities. We will discuss different areas of responsibility at the snap and discuss how those areas of responsibility change as the play develops. This first play initially discusses the responsibilities of the umpire and the referee. You'll note that Steve points out that the referee is responsible for the quarterback simulating a snap by either bobbing his head or actions with his hands that simulate a start. The umpire's responsibility is to focus on the center and any actions that might simulate a snap or involve a snap infraction. The referee reads pass based on the actions of the quarterback. The flank official should also read pass based on the actions of the offensive tackle on their side of the formation. Once the referee has determined that the quarterback has fielded the snap cleanly, he shifts his focus diagonally to the left tackle and left guard. Meanwhile, the umpire is focused on the actions of the offensive guards and center. He's evaluating the blocks on the defensive players, focusing especially on chop blocks and illegal low blocks. As Steve points out, the transition is now complete. The referee is watching the left tackle and left guard, focusing on illegal blocks and holding. The umpire has the right side of the line, focusing particularly on the right tackle, as the right guard and center are in the midst of a double team and unlikely to foul. As the play develops further, the referee's attention will now be drawn to the defensive player who has beat his block and is threatening the quarterback. The umpire's focus is on that same battle. Flank officials. Steve makes a great point here. Flanks need to stay with their keys. The tendency might be to shift focus to the quarterback in anticipation of having to rule in his forward progress. Do not anticipate. Rather, you want to react. It's just as likely that the QB will throw the ball in this situation as run. Let the play develop and rule on the progress spot if needed. The line judge reads pass downfield. He pivots and has a great angle to rule on catch no catch. He delays his call until he is certain that the receiver has maintained possession of the ball and then rules that the ball was caught. The mechanic that he uses is not approved for OCFOA, but it is approved in San Diego. This next play discusses areas of responsibility on runs to the referee's side of the field. As the run develops, we can see each of the 5 officials' area of responsibility. The flank official on the side away from the referee takes a big picture look at the field and focuses on illegal acts, particularly blocking violations. The back judge shifts his vision to the referee's side of the field and begins moving toward that sideline, staying within the hash marks and making sure that he is deeper than the deepest receiver. His focus must be on players that are deeper than the flank officials, and if the runner breaks free, cover action around the runner, looking particularly for unnecessary contact and illegal blocking. The back judge must avoid watching the ball. As the play continues to develop, the flank official closest to the action, in this case the head linesman, is focused on the blocking at the point of attack. The back judge should shift his focus to blocking just beyond the point of attack. The line judge still maintains the big picture view, looking for illegal contact and illegal blocks. The umpire and the referee are also monitoring action around the ball carrier. As the play ends, the head linesman will spot forward progress. The priority for all other officials is to monitor the field for dead ball fouls. The line judge will also spot the progress across the field while maintaining his big picture view, looking for dead ball fouls. This next play is a run away from the referee. The concepts from the previous play remain the same, the only difference being the referee is now focusing on action behind the runner, while the umpire is focusing on action in front of the runner. I'm going to let this play go without further dialogue. Mr. Coover's comments speak for themselves. Let's move on now to pass plays and responsibilities of the 5 officials. On this play, we're going to see a receiver go in motion, and as Steve points out, the official who the player is moving away from has the responsibility for judging the legality of that motion. Here, Steve is making the point that there are certain criteria that must be met before the receiver can be declared ineligible. Let's take a look at that rule. Rule 7-5-12 says ineligible A players may not advance beyond the expanded neutral zone on a legal forward pass before the legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone is in flight. That's a short sentence, but there's a lot there. The first question is which A players are ineligible. Rule 7-5-6 spells out eligibility requirements for pass receivers. Rules governing Team A's players eligible at the snap refer to position and uniform number, both of which must be satisfied. To be eligible by number, a player must have the uniform number outside the range of 50 to 79. A player wearing a number in the range of 50 to 79, regardless of his position at the snap, is never eligible. To be eligible by position, he must either be on the end of his scrimmage line or legally in the backfield. An interior lineman is never eligible regardless of his uniform number. There is no provision in the rules for a player with an ineligible number to report to the referee and become eligible. So now we know that eligibility of an A player is determined by uniform number and position. Rule 7-5-12 restricts ineligible A players from moving beyond the expanded neutral zone. Let's take a quick look at the definition of the expanded neutral zone. Rule 2-28-2 reads, the neutral zone may be expanded following the snap up to a maximum of 2 yards behind the defensive line of scrimmage in the field of play during any scrimmage down. That means that all ineligible A players are restricted from moving beyond 2 yards past the line of scrimmage if a legal pass is thrown. So now let's go back to our play and determine what we need to know prior to the snap to determine which players are eligible and which are ineligible. The first thing we need to know is where the line of scrimmage is. Flank officials and the umpire need to know what yard line the ball was snapped from in order to determine if any ineligible players, based on position or number, have gone beyond the expanded neutral zone prior to the ball crossing the neutral zone. In this example, the ball is being snapped from the 25-yard line. The expanded neutral zone therefore ends at the 27-yard line. The 5 players highlighted in this formation and the quarterback are eligible receivers based on position. We can now see that the pass is caught 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Therefore, there can be no ineligible receivers downfield due to the requirement that the forward pass has to cross the neutral zone in order for ineligibles to be declared. Steve makes the point that the right guard that's highlighted there would still not be considered downfield, even if the pass had been thrown beyond the neutral zone. So finally, let's let this play run. You'll notice that Steve compliments the flank officials for giving the runner everything he got. All too often, we mark the spot of the ball where the knee goes down rather than where the ball is. Finally, let's end this discussion with a quick review of keys. Here we have a formation with strength to the line judge side of the field. The keys, therefore, are as follows. The line judge has the widest receiver to his side. The back judge has the receiver on the inside to the line judge's side. The head linesman has the receiver on the end of the scrimmage line and responsibility for the backs in the backfield. If either of those backs comes towards the line judge, he will pick up the additional responsibility for that back. Here's a problem that a lot of flanks have. We're ball watching. He needs to be staying with his keys. Again, Steve points out we have legal action here. This is not holding, but that's a situation that needs to be watched. And the line judge ends up a little too close to this play, but does a great job of dead ball officiating. Referees and back judges, take note of Steve's comment there on the top right. We need you to close down while keeping an eye out for dead ball fouls when the play goes out of bounds. Well, that's it for this edition of 2016 OCFOA Plays of the Week. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Mark Andrews signing off.